Welcome to the new version of Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast, the podcast for real estate agents everywhere. I'm Lisa B, and together with Bjorn Kunzel, we're going to talk about everything real estate. We talk about what's working, what's not working, what's new, what's old, technology, and anything else to do with real estate. We'll answer your questions from the Facebook group Let's Talk About Real Estate. So if you have a question, we can help. Join the Facebook group today. And again, welcome to the show. Okay, Bjorn, we are now in our technology series of our podcast. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for having me as always, and welcome to yourself too.
All right, so now we're going to talk about how real estate agents are using technology in everyday life for everything. And so today is part one, the technology toolbox and lead generation. So we're going to be talking about what technology agents have and how they're using it for lead generation. Okay, so how are you finding technology? Is it blowing your mind?
Well, I'll let you know, before I embarked on the last 12-month journey, I wasn't using a lot of technology, to be completely honest. It was just the average run-of-the-mill establishment options available. But in the last 12 months, technology has blown my mind because I've dived right in, and now I'm actually teaching other agents about technology. So it's been a very big shift in the past 12 months, and it's a shift that's benefited my business by putting 88% more income into my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's the growth and all that sort of thing. And I think it's something that can kind of revamp your business as well, get you more excited about things.
Certainly.
Yeah, so I just want to pre-frame a couple of things first. We do have to embrace technology because it's not going away, especially because of COVID. We need to make sure we're COVID proof. And also with what we're talking about, we're not experts. You know, that we're talking about what we know, what we see, what we're using, and all that sort of thing. And we're not going to be able to cover absolutely everything because there's just too much out there.
Put it this way, Lisa, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not a dinosaur, but I'm 42 years old. I've been in this industry for 14 years, and for 13 years of that, I've been practicing on doing pretty much 70% of everything manually, besides a CRM and uploading of stock onto a website. Everything else has been done manually. Contract, offer forms, all that sort of stuff. Prospecting,
it's just learning, it's just growth, and it's putting yourself out there, and little by little steps by little steps, and everything we talk about, you don't have to race out and do straight away, but it's just things that you go, okay, well, maybe that point I can, or that step I can implement into my business. And that's what's important. And everyone is at different stages. You know, some people are all on paper, all paper diaries. I still have a paper diary, you know, and electronic, but you know, everyone's at different stages. So just kind of, I think a lot of agents out there are feeling scared as well. It's like you can feel like you're on the freeway and you're in the slow lane, and everyone's just going past you. And, you know, it's time to just implement just one step at a time, and also know what everybody's doing. That's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I took a big leap 12 months ago, and I had no backup plan. I had no fail-proof plan. My wife doesn't work. She only does work for me. So if this failed, it would have been all on me. And I knew that I was going from a very traditional type of establishment into something which was high-tech. And it scared the bejesus out of me, Lisa, because I'm not a high-tech guy. But I must say, it has now made my life so much better.
Yeah, it becomes your way of life. It does, doesn't it? It becomes your way of life. Yeah, what you fear, and then it becomes your life. So
fear is actually, just speaking about fear quickly, fear is actually something that exists only in our mind, because it's anticipation of an event which has not happened, which may not occur. It's the same as anxiety. Danger is real. Like, don't step too close to the edge of the cliff because you might fall off. That's danger. That's a real emotion. But fear is actually a limiting belief. And step one is to overcome that fear.
Well, it's the unknown, isn't it? But I mean, if you can see other people are doing it, you've got history. It's not like you're the first person ever doing it. Other agents are doing it. It works. You've got proof, and it's just step by step and getting people to help you, you know, when you need it. But I think because the tech real estate's more complicated, it seems a lot more complicated. It's complicated, but it's easier. But it's also harder for sellers to copy what we do. So rather than fear tech, what we need to do is consider that tech could be the thing that saves our industry, because we are providing so much more value that the sellers are never going to be able to catch up with, the sale by owners and all that sort of thing. So we've got to really embrace that technology and know that this might be the thing that actually saves our industry.
Certainly, 100%. The art of selling a house is an art now. It used to be, going back 10 years ago when I first started, it was, okay, you sign the client up, you put a signboard up at the front, you order some brochures, you get some photos done, you put them up on the internet, and you sit back and you wait for your buyer. Okay, and a home seller privately can do that themselves, right? They can order brochures, and it's not that hard. They can order a sign, it's not that hard. They can put it up online, it's not that hard. But now there are so many other avenues which we can use as agents in order to promote their properties, and also to find buyers and find business.
Absolutely.
They can't copy and replicate anymore.
They can't. They don't have access to those things. Yeah, so that's what's exciting too for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's start in chronological order. We'll go through how real estate agents are using technology, what they've got, the toolboxes, the basic toolboxes, and then chronological order of where they're up to. And how much we've taken technology for granted as well. So the first one agents have is a smartphone. Obviously, it's with us 24 hours a day. We tap into everything. It's made our life so much easier. So, you know, imagine not having a smartphone now. How could we work?
Some people have got everyone's got a smartphone in real estate. Let's face it. If you don't have a smartphone in real estate, man, you need to.
You're not smart.
You're not an agent. If you're wondering about why business isn't happening for you, you don't have a smartphone, get a bloody smartphone. Yeah. Everyone's got them. It depends on whether you want to go Android or Apple. I'm an Apple man. I like them. They're easy. They're simple to use. Android gives you more options, but they're more complex to use. Now, I find that I like to update my phone every 2 years. I don't like to leave it any more than 2 years because the technology changes. And you want to make sure you've got a smartphone which has got a good camera, very fast, lots of memory, because this little beauty here, which is my iPhone 11 Pro, okay, which is now, there's the iPhone 12, but it's still fairly up to date. You notice it's got 3 little lenses on the back there for 3 different camera angles. I can do wide angle now myself and things like this. Does high quality videos, and the
quality is amazing.
It's amazing. I can take photos on my iPhone now for an off-market sale and send them overseas for $2 to be edited, and they come back, in all respect to my photographer, they look just as good as my photographer's photos. They really do. And the benefit with an iPhone, when you're trying to get an angled shot of a room and you go back to the corner, my photographer has to set up their tripod, right? So they can take a photo from here. I can take a photo from all the way back here. Yeah. And I actually capture more of the room. So I actually, in some ways, prefer my images.
Can you send me a before and after photo one day, like the one that you send over, and how you get it back? I want to see how they change it. Yeah,
certainly. The company I use for that, which is very simple, is just a company called Box Brownie. So there's just one little bit of tech, $2 a photo, very simple, very easy way to get somebody who doesn't want to spend a lot of money on advertising up on the market very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And also have good microphones. If you're going to do videos, you can do video testimonials on your phone. You can do everything on your phone these days. As you said, photos, video testimonials, walkthroughs, Facebook Lives, all that sort of thing. Okay, so the next thing, a fast computer with great graphics, SSD drive, not a HDD drive.
Correct. This is important. If people don't understand the difference between a HDD drive and an SSD drive, an SSD drive is a microchip. A HDD drive has moving parts. A moving part's slower, all right? Takes a long time to boot the computer up to access the drive to be able to get the information off of the drive, very simply. The SSD drive, like I'll turn my computer on and within 2 seconds, bang, everything's up. And a very fast internet connection as well.
Yeah, exactly. LaserJet multifunctional printer. And of course, we have a lot of printing done. You know, we outsource our printing, but it's always good to have, if technology does break down or something, that you can print documents if you need to, print flyers and all that sort of thing. So multifunctional printer.
The reason you want that is you want a scanner incorporated in that. I don't use mine a hell of a lot now because a lot of the stuff is online, but there's still people that want to do things manually, that want a contract sent to them manually because whatever it may be, or we need to scan something in, or we want to do a runoff of a invite to open inspection, or property in your street's just been placed under contract. This is how many buyers come. So you still want a printer that's good quality, that's fast, that's affordable. I've got a Brother multifunction printer. I think it's an MFC L450W or something like that. And it's a very good printer, and it's very affordable, and you can get off-market laser cartridges, and they last a long time.
Yeah,
very good to have as a backup. Definitely.
Yep, awesome. Okay, and a good CRM. So that's a great CRM, which is very, very, very important. If you're not putting your data into a CRM, do it. Start today.
Yes. The CRM, this is the piece of the puzzle that a lot of people find, oh, I'm not doing that well, whatever. And you ask them, well, have you got a database? Have you got a... No, not really. That is the missing piece of the puzzle. Yeah. This is your Bible, a good CRM system, one that's fast, one that's easy to use, one that can send out marketing messages, one that can send out SMSs, print out letters, one that can send out weekly email templates so you can update everybody in your database every week, one that can put together a nice newsletter. For example, mine start off with a very small little bit of text. Welcome to this week's inspections and property update. I'll put a property video there, which is a link to a YouTube video, which I've just conducted. It may be a seller testimonial, buyer testimonial. It may be advice. It may be a podcast like this. It can be anything. Give them some information to watch. And then it goes into new releases, bang, bang, bang. They can click on those properties there as well. I'll usually do a property video for those new releases as well. And so they can watch the videos, and then it'll go into weekend open inspections with a list of those. And then there'll be a deal down the bottom, right? To try to attract sellers. So you want to be pumping that out every single week, and you want to be capturing the data of all of your buyers and all of your sellers,
absolutely,
and all of your potential vendors and all of your potential buyers every single moment that you engage and encounter with them. You want to put them into your database. You want to find their criteria.
Have the app on your phone that you can quickly put people in.
Yes, certainly. We've got, we use AgentBox, and I've got the AgentBox app there. Oops, sorry, it's a bit hard to see here, but there's an AgentBox app there on my phone. And every time that I want to do anything, I can either access any of my data. So let's say I've uploaded a sales agency agreement, I've uploaded a certificate of title, council searches, property interest report, whatever. I'm at an open inspection. I don't necessarily have those things in print, but if somebody says, oh, can you send me a copy of the title? No worries, I go into the app, put AgentBox, I bring it up, I forward it to them, they've got it instantaneously. This,
it's so much more efficient.
This and your CRM linking together
everything
is 90% of the job taken care of.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so now quickly we'll just go through apps. So just some of the really, you know, easy apps that I think people have, and if they haven't, they've got to have the GPS. Obviously, that's just that's so imperative for real estate agents to know where the hell you're going. Electronic diaries, shared diaries, that everybody in your office, if you're in a traditional office, that people know where you are for security and all that sort of thing as well. If you're going to listing presentations late at night, that people know where you are, that sort of thing.
Also, Lisa, if you're like me and you can get a little bit forgetful about things because you've got a lot going on, you look in your diary, yep, that's where I've got to go next, you know? Yes. You're never going to miss an appointment again. Very important.
No, exactly. You set reminders and all that sort of thing as well. Then Google Drive or Dropbox or iCloud to have documents and everything stored in there. You shouldn't have everything stored on your computer at home or at work. It's got to be in the cloud. And there's lots of different reasons for being able to store you know, huge amounts of photos and all that sort of stuff. You can edit documents between each other. If somebody's at the office and somebody's at home, or your buyers, your sellers, whatever, you can edit documents together rather than, I was telling you before, I had a friend that was taking documents, driving them from Brisbane down to the Gold Coast, getting somebody to edit them and then driving back and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, why don't you just have it on Google Drive? Like, it was insane. But, you know, they just didn't know. They just didn't know.
On that point as well, Lisa, there's a lot of people in real estate that are very, very busy, but they're not very, very productive.
Yes.
Since I've made the move and shifted towards a more digital platform, a more digital-based company, I've actually found that I've got about 33 to 35% more free time. Now, that sounds to people when they hear that like, oh, he's doing less work. He's taking on less vendors.
No, more efficient. Yes.
You've got to work smarter in 2021, not harder. Okay. I don't have to drive to an office. I don't have to drive to get documents out. We've got 8 members in our team. We've got a Google Drive where we can share everything. We've got Messenger. We communicate with Messenger. I set up WhatsApp.
What's up? What's up? What's up on WhatsApp?
What's up? You know, or Messenger groups with my vendors, and you can communicate with them through there. I've got one who's on an oil rig right now. He doesn't have SMS capability because he can't get his phone reception, but they do have internet. So WhatsApp, I can now communicate through with him via that way.
Awesome.
And we're messaging, and there's obviously a time difference as well. So there's several things you can do. Home Pass, you're checking buyers into open inspections, for example, as well.
We'll talk about that later. Oh, CRM.
Everything.
Right.
CRM.
Yes,
you know, calendars, like you said, Google Drives. There's so many different things. There's even apps to create videos. There's apps to edit photos. There's so many apps nowadays. Yeah. And on this little baby right here, you can have everything that you need to succeed.
Absolutely. Okay. And then the other thing about having your documents in Google Drive and all that sort of stuff is security, in case, you know, touch wood, fire or something like that, that you don't, you know, you've still got your data. Okay. Then another thing that we have with EXP is virtual worlds. So we have Virbela, which is an amazing, well, you talk about that.
Okay. Virbela, for those of you who don't know, it's imagine Zoom and combine Zoom with a video game, okay, and put them two together. It's not a video game, but it's basically a virtual world scenario.
It's like that Sims World. Is that what it was? Sims World or something?
I don't play video games.
Years ago. No, I don't either.
Video games, but let's say, I don't know, whatever video game out there, it's an online digital campus. So Virbela, Microsoft use Virbela now as well. It's owned by EXP, which is part of the reason why we're a multi-billion-dollar company. But what it does is it enables us to get in there all around the world, wherever we are as agents, and collaborate. Now, I just read we've got 59,000 now.
Yes, agents,
You can never have 59,000 people in an auditorium, no matter where it was. You'd have to go to the MCG or Adelaide Oval and have us all sitting down in seats to be able to present to 59,000 people in a traditional format. You can't have 59,000 people on Zoom because you're going to have tiny little Facebooks. It just can't be done. It doesn't have the capability. But we have auditoriums in Virbela, which is in our EXP world, which is our virtual world, where I can invite clients in, I can invite team members in. We can have seminars. We've had Grant Cardone come in there and give a talk, give a chat. I've given a talk in there as a speaker as well. And you can present to 59,000 agents, 100,000 agents, however many you like, because it's a virtual campus. Now, during COVID, it wasn't built for COVID. It's been established for quite some time. But during COVID, when everything was locked down, campuses in the United States actually started to buy into Virbela and have it set up for their university students, so they could sit at home like I am right now, but not on a Zoom call, but in an auditorium where they can sit down. A professor can be on a stage because it's set up as if it would be in a real world scenario. And behind them, there's a big screen, and that professor can click on his computer and put whatever screenshots he wants up on that screen and present to those particular parties.
Psychologically, it makes you still feel connected, and that's the beauty of it. Like a Zoom, it's kind of, but you actually feel like you're sitting around a boardroom table, and you can actually turn around and look at somebody's avatar face, and turn around and look at someone's avatar face, and you've got the screens up and all that sort of stuff. So it actually is the psychology behind it as well, that it makes you actually feel like you're there, which is so anybody listening, have a look up Virbela. It's amazing. All right,
it's great. And you know, when we go in there for a meeting, a meeting starts at 10 o'clock, a meeting starts at 10:30. I'm in front of my computer anyway because I'm home based. It's bang, I'm in, bang, I'm out. There's none of this driving to, there's none of this hour wasted with chit chat about the colour of paint and what did you do on the weekend, blah 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 blah. No. It's very, very efficient. So that's another tech platform that's changed and revolutionized.
Exactly. All right. So we'll go through lead generation quickly. So ideally using social media and all your marketing online and offline to direct and capture leads to your own website with the details going into your CRM, because the benefits are we own the real estate, we control the lead generation and data capture. And we do that through buyer alerts and opt-ins. So our buyers will say, okay, I want to know further details about these listings. This is the ideal situation. They opt into that, then they're notified every time we get new listings, or they opt in for, say, the 7 secrets of, of selling in your area or something like that. 7 things you need to know when selling in your area, something like that, right? Yes. So ideally that's it, because the thing with social media, I told you before, I lost one of my Facebook pages the other day. I was the only admin on it. It wasn't one of my real estate ones. It was one for one of my books, just vanished. And I didn't notice. It could have been 2 months ago, and I've got nobody to go to. I've got nothing. It's gone. So 7,000, I think it was 7,500 contacts on there have now disappeared. So
the goal here is that you want your CRM, you want to retain ownership of your CRM.
Yes.
Other agents don't have ownership of their CRM.
Yes.
And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I chose EXP, is because we do retain all of our intellectual data, whereas I know a lot of other agents don't. But you want everything capturing information data from everybody going into that CRM system.
And you own it. Yes.
And you own it, because what you can always do with your CRM is you can always download a CSV file and you can upload that to Facebook. So then everybody can be marketed to through the social media platforms.
And I've lost people through, I've lost data lists from going from MailChimp to Aweber and all that sort of thing. So you do have to have backups of CSV files and all that. Like 15 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, I lost like thousands of people. And so you've got to have backups and backups and backups, and you've got to own the data. So
I mean, all CSV files will be uploaded to any database. And it just depends on how complex you want to pop into that database. But you want to have prospective vendor categories, prospective buyer categories, investor categories, developer categories, current buyer, past vendor categories.
And set
that way you can target, because the one message may be relevant for a buyer, but it may not be relevant for a seller, or vice versa. So you want to be able to target your marketing using your CRM. Your CRM is your absolute gospel.
It's our toolbox. So agents, for lead generation, agents can engage companies to canvass a postcode through social media, offering a free report, passing the leads to the agent. Auto valuation sites that offer agents a 20 to 30% referral fee, or portals using the sole property marketing and requesting an appraisal. So that's the way agents are getting leads from technology, from external companies as well.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some of those companies that you can pay for yourself. So then you retain those leads and you can contact and follow up those leads. There's other companies where they'll take a 20% cut, but you don't pay for anything. They'll contact you saying this person wants to sell, this is their situation. And then whatever commission that you charge, they take a 20% slice of the pie. Now, some agents go, I'm not giving away 20% of my commission. There's a wise man, Mount Emery, said to me once about a decade ago, he said, be prepared to part with a portion of a profit that you would have never received in order to receive a profit. Okay, so meaning that if you said, I'm opting out of that particular company, well, you're never going to get your opportunity to present in front of that client. So if your commission's 10 grand, it goes down to 8 grand. You've still made 8 grand. If you're being arrogant and saying, I don't want anything to do with those companies, well, then you're just not even going to get the 8 grand. So you're just going to get nothing. Something's better than nothing. So there's several platforms out there, and some of them may be for you, some of them may not. Some of them are exclusive, one-on-one to an agent. Some of them will pitch to 3 agents. There's so many ways to get listings nowadays, Lisa.
Yeah, exactly. All right, then we've got social media. So to find leads for appraisals, retargeting potential sellers that have engaged with you on your website. So Facebook follows them around and social media follows them around. Organic lead generation through YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Social Proof, video testimonials, and general marketing. So I think, as I said before, the number one goal is to drive traffic to your website. And like I said, I've been caught and I forget that sometimes. I get caught up in directing people to other things. Really, it's got to be to our website, our database, and our, us owning the data, us owning the real estate, basically.
Yes, certainly. And the key there is video content. We're in 2021. People are lazy. People don't want to read. I used to send out pre-listing kits, which were basically manual pre-listing kits in a box. I'd get to the house. They've eaten chocolate. They've done this. Did you read through the questionnaire? Nah. Did you go through the booklet? Oh, I just had a quick flick through it. People don't want to read. They don't want to be bombarded with information, but they'll watch a video. But get everything out there on video content as much as you can. Deliver your message via video.
Absolutely. Okay, so emails, lead generation. So sending email lists, emailing your list to generate leads, follow-ups from your CRM, like you said before, electronic newsletters, which you said before, from your database.
Yes.
And then we've got SMS lead generation. So offering property updates, advising property sales, and asking if they would like an appraisal. So SMS, you get a lot of listings through SMS.
Ooh. SMS is king. Email is, everyone's getting bombarded with email. SMS is king right now. And especially when you deliver an SMS with a video message, that is just very, very powerful.
Yes.
Very powerful.
Absolutely. Okay. So tell me, how are you using QR codes?
So QR codes for check-in. We're doing QR codes to, would you like your home appraised? QR codes leading people to look for other properties that are available and linking them up with our own sites, whether that be our own Facebook site or our own website, and QR codes for making offer forms digitally as well.
Awesome. And the best way for your QR codes is to generate a Bitly link. So then you can see the effectiveness of it. If you've got a QR code on your For Sale sign, on your business cards, on your flyers, do a bit.ly link so you can actually track how many people are going to that QR code as well. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we do digital offer forms. There's an app that's on my phone for a drop form, which is a digital offer form. And if somebody makes an offer form, it'll alert me via email. And it'll also alert me in the app. And then I can respond to that straight away. I can download it and I can forward it to the vendor straight away saying, here's your written offer. So there's none of this needing to verbally present offers. Back in the day, I remember back in the day, my first employer, there was a lot of this verbal presentation of offers. And half of it was absolute BS, right? Which is one of the reasons why I don't work for them anymore and why they're not in business anymore, because they were dishonest. They used to say an offer came in at $330,000. They'd ring the owner, hey, how you going? Yeah, we've got an offer at $298,000, got another offer at $270,000. The typical bloody BS conditioning a vendor rubbish. Guys, if you're being trained to condition your vendors, get that out of your head. Get it out of your head, all right? You're just being dishonest, and it's the reason why agents have got a bad reputation. Instead, get a digital offer form. Tell your vendors, as soon as I receive the offer, within minutes, you're going to receive that offer as well, and it's going to be in writing. So everything that I deliver to you is going to be 100% accurate. There's not going to be any BS. There's not going to be any conditioning where they used to give a lower offer when they've actually got an offer here. All of the offers are going to be in writing. If it's not in writing, I'm not even going to present it to you, because if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. It's not real, but you're going to be able to see it. Now, it's very powerful when a vendor picks it up, looks on their phone, and can read through, and it's got the name, it's got the email address, it's got the vendor. They give a rating on the open inspection, talks about their finance broker, gives them all the information, all the data. They can see that that is real. They know that you're working for them. And the fact that you give it to them, whether it's 11:30 at night, 7 o'clock in the morning, straight after an open inspection, whatever it may be, and the buyers absolutely love it because it's easy and it's simple to use. They don't have to lose an offer form and go back to it. It's on their phone. Oh, how do I do that? Back to the SMS. Oh, bang, there it is. Beautiful. Lovely day. The amount of buyers that tell me, oh, I've been to hundreds of open homes and you guys are the only ones offering a digital offer form. I mean,
no, well, I love it that you got it through the QR code as well. So when they go to an open house, they go, and they've got the offer form as well. I love that. All right, perfect.
It impresses people. And buyers are sellers. And when they come through your open inspection, they see QR codes set up, everything's digital. Yeah, we still give them a nice flashy brochure, all right? But everything else is digital. They just think this is so easy. This is smart. We're cutting down less trees. You know, we don't have bits of paper flying everywhere. It's just, they're impressed. And
it's easy to transact.
And they come back and they say, look, we're really impressed with your
it's easy to transact, and that's what we want. We want it COVID proof. We want it easy to transact. Okay. So the next thing is independent versus franchises is kind of like cruise ships and jet skis, is what somebody said to me. So independents finally are feeling a lot more empowered than they have in the past with technology. I'm losing my voice. So they can... Well, so they can pivot a lot fast. So they can pivot a lot faster. Like independents, like the franchises are like, oh, you know, like all the bureaucracy and the red tape and all that. They can't implement a lot of the things that independents can implement a lot quicker. So independents are finally feeling a lot more empowered because of technology.
I've always been with independents. I started with the first independent back in 2008. And then in 2011, I moved from there and went to another independent, which used to be a large franchise, but dwindled down to one office. Fantastic people, fantastic environment. And now I've transferred into a cloud-based model, but several of the agents that I have in my team, and I have 8 agents in my team right now, they've come from the franchise or the establishments. And the biggest thing that they tell me is that the freedom. There's a lack of freedom within the larger organizations because everything's corporate and needs to be ran through corporate. And a lot of them don't want you to promote yourself. The individual agent is the brand, okay? So I am the brand. A lot of people do not care about branding. In fact, I have not lost a listing in the last 9 months. And there's technology that I offer with my company, with my cloud-based company, which everyone can see what it is, that enables me to do that. I have not lost a listing. Now, 12 months ago, our brand did not exist in South Australia. And now we've gone from 3 agents to 8 agents, soon to be 10 agents. And it's just going to snowball because the agents are feeling that they're being more efficient with their production. They're having better relationships with their vendors and sellers. They're working from home, so they've got more freedom. They've got more free time. They're earning more money because the overheads, for example, if I was doing what I'm doing now, for all the technology platforms that I share, the cost with 59,000 agents worldwide would cost me about $1,500 to $1,600 a month. I only paid $220 for it.
Yeah.
So there's less overheads. I don't have to worry about 35 to 40 grand to keep an office door open. And we're on a 100% commission split model minus a $30,000 fee per year, which they take. So the world's changed. If you look at Blockbuster and you look at Netflix, technology basically destroyed Blockbuster. Okay. Yeah, because Netflix came along and Blockbuster had the opportunity to purchase Netflix and they refused it. And it was to their detriment because Blockbuster no longer exists. And Netflix is now a multi-billion-dollar company. You look at Amazon versus, and this is based on technology, how people purchase and retail. Now, we've always had eBay and things like this, but Amazon now is an online store. And you find that retail is now being hurt very hard from it. Now, I don't like that in the fact that retail jobs are being lost, but there are still people that want to go into a store and they want to touch and feel before they buy. But a lot of people just research online and buy online now. So the consumer habits have changed and everything is online, everything is digital based. And I've just found that based on what you just said, your franchises and your independents, it's their business, it's their model, it's about them. With the cloud-based models, it's about me finally. It's about what I want to do. I don't have to run through marketing because I want to put a picture of this or a picture of that. As long as I've got the logo and as long as I've got the RLA and as long as I'm not doing anything disrespectful to anybody else, as long as I'm not breaking any laws and as long as I'm not putting anything vulgar and rude out in the public, I've got free run to do whatever I want to do, which means that I can react instantly to market changes versus having to go through meetings and boardroom meetings, and we'll take it to the next manager and then we'll take it to them and then we'll take it to the franchise and so on and so forth. Now, the franchises are fantastic for people that are starting out in real estate because they do offer a lot of support and training, and the independents are fantastic for that family environment. I've just found that the cloud-based model is for me because it's 2021.
Yeah. I mean, I think the franchises, there's a lot that are starting to try and implement things. They just can't do it as quickly as what we are. Now, technology has also allowed, obviously, the work from home model and has reduced the costs of technology substantially, which you alluded to. Otherwise, technology can be very cheap if you do it the right way, or it can be extremely expensive if you have to pay for it all yourself. So that's something we'll talk about later as well. But so next week, we're going to talk about how agents are using tech to list property. So stay tuned for next week and we will, we'll talk all about that. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a question about real estate, then please join the group on Facebook, also called Let's Talk About Real Estate. For those of you who are interested in EXP, please join us at 10 a.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday morning for EXP Explained. Thank you again for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and see you next week.